I kind of thought about it afterwards, and I'm like, did we land enough punches on Joe Biden? Did we spend more time going after each other? But because I felt like literally, and again, all these things got brought up. But the idea that Biden blew off Maui, he goes on vacation in Rehoboth, he goes into Maui and says like, hey, my feet hurt, and let me tell you a story about my kitchen and then goes on vacation again. And I was like, to me, and then, obviously immigration, Afghanistan, but I was like, did we prosecute the case enough? I kept saying going into the debate that some of the candidates should get up there and be like, I'm the best person to go against Biden. Overall, not your candidate. Leave your candidate out of this for a second. Do you think we as a party made enough of a case to the viewer that was watching last night that's just saying, I want to see what the Republicans are saying? Do you think that we brought up Biden collectively enough?
Absolutely. I think that when you look at it holistically, there were a lot of mentions about Joe Biden, but we were also talking about policies and things that we would change. The fact of the matter is, if we're talking about Biden over and over again, I think to that point, it looks like we're obsessed with Biden, and
I'm obsessed with Biden.
Yeah, but that gives him that kind of gives him a boost as well, right? Americans know how bad Biden is. He's taken a year of vacation during
But that's my point. I don't know that they do. Look, you and I know that. We know that, but I'm sitting here going, I didn't, to be honest with you, until I heard where he was, I thought, I didn't realize he had literally left Hawaii to go back on vacation. Like he needed to have a vacation from his bad visit to Hawaii.
But they may not know about the vacation part, but this is what they do know. They know gas prices are high. They know that electric prices are high. Utility bills are high. They know when they go to the grocery store. And they are making that case. And they're saying, this is my alternative. They have made that case. I know Nikki Haley has definitely made that case over and over and over again. Yeah. So it's not necessarily about relitigating all the bad things that Biden has done, but you have a very limited window of time, especially with 8 candidates up on that stage.
Stefan, you can't say Vivek Ramaswamy. Did you think
is that on the bingo card?
Yeah, it is. We got it. But I'm saying, like, overall, I think it's a valid. Like, I was literally walking out of the debate last night when someone said it, and I go, gosh, that is a good point. Did we actually, as a team, if I were watching that objectively at home, I get here's who went after, and I get that.
Sure.
But I was like, you know what? Like, we didn't bring up Afghanistan and what that's done. We didn't bring up why his policy in Ukraine is giving China this notion of coming after Taiwan. And so again, do you think collectively, you cannot say your candidate's name, do you think that we as a party made a case to the voter out there that said, I want to tune in and see if Republicans are better than Biden to lead this country?
Well, it's a great question. And one of the things that I looked at this morning was, okay, what was the topic that was most talked about?
Yeah.
And I was hoping that it would be the disastrous Joe Biden agenda. And it wasn't. It was the topic of abortion. And look, I'm a father of 4. My wife and I, just like a lot of other Americans, we live paycheck to paycheck too. We're looking at our checking account every single day to say, okay, how much are we going to spend to put gas in our car, groceries on our table? That's what the American people talk about. That's exactly what the American people want to hear from.
But that's the point, is as a Republican last night, I would vote for anyone on that stage. Anyone. Actually, I'd vote for most of the people in the audience, too, because that's how bad the country is. Where was that message last night?
Well, and that's the one thing that we could absolutely agree on. At the end of the day, no matter who the nominee is going to be, and obviously we have our respective candidates, but it's got to be someone who can replace Joe Biden.
Yes.
I mean, our country is in bad shape.
Yes.
My family.
Again, you can't say Ron DeSantis.
Collectively, the case was not prosecuted. I will say Fox, put one video clip up there that was relevant to this subject. And I will say the candidate whose name I'm not going to say looked the most presidential and talked about emergency response and continually came back to beating Bidenomics.
Okay.
And because that is the goal. The goal isn't to be the nominee.
It's not just
the
Bidenomics,
goal is to be I understand,
agree.
but that's what's killing.
Right.
That's where we kind of agree, right?
Right.
Is that's the biggest challenge for Americans out there. And the candidate I'm not naming, who I'm helping run for president, kept coming back to it. Even when Fox tried to take him backwards in time, he said, no, we're going to talk about the future. And that's Bidenomics.
Yeah.
That is the
and just so I'm clear,
piece of the campaign
Totally agree with
president.
you. The thing to me is, it's beyond Bidenomics. It's actually, you can't
I'm summing it all up.
No, I get you are. And I'm just saying, to me, though, it's not just Bidenomics, because you can't have Bidenomics if you're not safe. And I think that where this country is right now vis-a-vis China and the threats that we face, Joe Biden has not, we may not, you can only have an economic system if you're free and you can prosper and you can actually have capitalism